Reds, sit down, because what just happened at Old Trafford in the last 48 hours is bigger than anyone outside the building expected. And there's a second bombshell sitting right underneath it that United fans have been waiting a year to hear. We're talking a release clause triggered out of nowhere. A medical that collapsed a deal everyone thought was done. A World Cup injury that's just blown a hole in this midfield rebuild. And a two-word Instagram comment from a Chelsea superstar that has this entire fan base buzzing again. Let's get into it. Monday morning. Nobody saw this coming. United triggered the release clause on Aston Villa's Tielemans. I think you already know that. £35 million. Done. Just like that, like. Now here's the part that actually tells you everything about how this window has gone. Just days before that, United were supposedly closing in on Atalanta's Ederson. Fee agreed. Medical booked. Everyone assumed he was walking through the doors at Carrington any day now. Then the medical happened, and it fell apart. United walked away. No explanation given publicly, no drama, just silence. And instead, they pivoted straight into Tielemans. That's not a small U-turn. That's a club moving fast, moving ruthless, and refusing to get stuck with a deal they're not fully convinced by. Say what you want about this United hierarchy, but that's decisive business. And it didn't stop there. Monday afternoon, a second announcement. Andrey Santos confirmed arriving from Chelsea for a fee in the region of £48 million. So in one single day, United have added two midfielders. Combined outlay with Tielemans, somewhere around £85 million. For context, that's the exact same amount Tottenham paid for Matheus Fernandes, a player United themselves were chasing hard before Spurs swooped in and hijacked that move. So there's a version of this story where United got beaten to a target and panicked. That is not what happened, because what they've actually done is turn one missed target into two new midfielders for the same money. And Reds, that's before we even get to the story that's exploding across Italian media right now, because United are not finished, not even close. Sources in Italy are reporting that United are preparing an official bid for AS Roma's Manu Koné. Let that sink in for a second. Santos in, Tielemans in, and now a third midfielder being lined up before this window has even hit its peak. Why? Because there's still a gap. A specific one, a destroyer, the Casemiro role, the one nobody has filled since his contract ran out this summer. Santos and Tielemans are progressive, they're technical, they move the ball, but neither of them is the snarling, ball-winning presence United have been crying out for since the day Casemiro's legs started to go. And now there's a second reason this move has suddenly become urgent. Manuel Ugarte, serious knee injury at the World Cup. And that has changed the maths completely. United went into this summer thinking they had time to be patient in that specific position. They don't anymore. So the number being floated is £43 million. Roma, according to reports, won't even enter negotiations below that mark. And United, sensing an opportunity to get a genuine World Cup performer for under £50 million, are reportedly ready to test that number. Here's where it gets spicy, Reds. Fabrizio Romano has already reported that United viewed Aurélien Tchouameni as their dream Casemiro replacement. Real Madrid's midfield general, Ballon d'Or level pedigree, but he is locking in his future at the Bernabeu, and that dream was never realistic money-wise anyway. So what if the actual answer was sitting in Serie A the whole time? Because right now, people who know midfielders, genuinely know them, are losing their minds over Manu Koné. Rio Ferdinand has called him France's best midfielder. Patrick Vieira, a man who built his career in that exact position, says Kone is currently the best midfielder in France. Full stop. And it's not just pundits talking a good game. Kone went to the World Cup and delivered on the biggest stage there is. His performance in France's quarter-final win over Morocco had people sitting up, commentators calling him unbelievable, enormously underrated, the kind of praise that doesn't get said about squad players. So picture this. United land a 25-year-old, World Cup proven, genuinely rated as the best in his position in an entire country, for less than half of what Tchouameni would have cost if he was even available. That's not a consolation prize. That's a smarter piece of business than the one that got away. But Reds, don't get too comfortable, because Roma know exactly what they've got. That 43 million figure is a floor, not a ceiling, and if this turns into a bidding war, United's summer spending is about to get a lot more serious than £85 million. Now let's talk about the story that's got this entire fan base whispering again. Because when that Andrey Santos announcement video dropped on United's Instagram, one reply stopped everyone in their tracks. Cole Palmer, 4 words. What a player. Good luck, bro. With a red heart. Now on the surface, that's just one former teammate being nice to another. Innocent, normal, except this is Cole Palmer we're talking about, and Palmer has been the single most talked about potential United signing for over a year now. This is a player who came through Manchester City's academy, a player who reports claimed was homesick in London, a player who's been quietly linked with a return to Manchester more times than we can count. So when he shows up publicly, warmly, enthusiastically supporting a new United signing, Reds, you know this fan base is not letting that go quietly. Is it nothing? Maybe. Is it the kind of moment that reignites an entire transfer saga overnight? Absolutely. And here's the bit that should really get your attention. Sources are already indicating United aren't stopping at midfield reinforcements either. There's word that after getting Santos over the line, the club still wants 2 more additions in that area before the window shuts, which means the current midfield rebuild we're watching right now might only be half the story. So let's put it all together because this is where it gets serious. United have already spent 85 million on 2 midfielders in a single day. They are now preparing a third bid, worth up to 43 million, for a player 2 legends of this game are calling the best in his position in France. They've got a Ugarte injury forcing their hand, they've got Roma ready to play hardball, and in the background they've got Cole Palmer publicly cheering on new arrivals in a way that has this entire fan base convinced something bigger is brewing. This is not a quiet summer. This is a club moving with intent, moving fast, and clearly not finished. The question now is simple. Does Manu Koné become the missing piece that finally solves the Casemiro problem? Does Roma cave at 43 million? Or does this turn into a drawn-out standoff? And is that Cole Palmer comment really nothing? Or is it the first crack in a story we're going to be talking about for months? I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments right now. Is Kone the right man for that midfield spot? Or should United be going bigger? And be honest, do you actually believe Palmer ends up in a red shirt before this window closes? If this video kept you hooked, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel more than you know. Subscribe if you haven't already, because the moment either of these stories move, we will be the first ones bringing it to you. Turn on notifications, because Reds, this summer is only just getting started. I'll see you in the next one.